I guess my paintball career started in 1994, I think. But I didn't start playing tournaments until like 96, and then I played in a series on the West Coast, and it was called the Great Western Series, and it was a good like developmental league for people. So they had novice and amateur at that point, which would probably be like D2 and maybe D1, and then from there I moved on to my own. I started my own amateur team, and we did all right. And then and that team was called Crusade. And then from there, I went to an amateur team called the Diggers, which had Yosh and Alex on it, and Angel. And then that team kind of merged with Out of Control, which had Ryan on it, and then Brian also started playing on that team, and then that team eventually changed into Dynasty. So it took a little while, but there's a lot more steps than people think. And I don't even remember when Dynasty started, maybe in 2001, I think. I don't know. So I played on the team for, I don't know, 5 years, 6 years or something. And then I went back to school and finished school. And then when I came back, I started coaching. So I coached Infamous for a season, and then after that I coached Dynasty for a couple seasons. And then I went to law school, and so I stopped coaching for a while, and then I came back and started coaching the Ironman for two years. And then a season ago I started coaching Damage. Of course it's going to be different, but in the end it's just paintball. I mean, I think I'll be able to, the challenge of language is the only real challenge, and I don't think it's that big of a challenge really. I think learning words and being able to understand what the players think I want and what they want to tell me, that's the hardest part, I think. I think that's going to be a developing process. I think it'll start a lot simpler in the beginning, and using, like Orion and I talked about a lot, using common names for things that are both English and Russian, or cities or whatever, so it's a lot easier. And then from there we'll start to develop more. It's not so much communication on the field. I'm more concerned about it like in between points, like, and players being able to tell me things. Like for Damage on me, it's really important for guys, especially on the farther side of the field from me that I can't see, that they relay information to me. So that might be a little bit harder at first, but I think we'll figure it out. I don't have a whole lot of experience besides the Russian Legion and now Art Chaos of any Russian players. So I mean, I know there's a lot more teams than that, but those are the only ones up until recently. Like Grad Moscow came, and then Red Storm, but that's about all the experience I have with them. The goal for me is to just improve the team as a whole, and that means from like whoever's the worst on the team to whoever's the best on the team. I'd like to improve every player, and then the team, how it works together and how it's organized and how plans are made and how information comes together, and then there's a compromise. And then I guess that my end goal is just to, I mean, it would be nice to say you want to win a tournament, but that's not going to happen right away. Like, I mean, people will forget, but Dynasty got like 3rd and 4th for like a whole year. Like, and people forget that it took a while before. There's a lot of different things. There's like technical abilities, there's teamwork abilities and communication. There's also confidence levels and like mental awareness and everything that's going on, and then experience in those positions. So those all take time to develop, and I know like the team as a whole has experience, but I don't think they have a whole lot of experience together. And especially with Oliver and Ryan, that chemistry might take a little bit. So I think so. I think today's our first practice, or the first practice I'm going to go to. So that will be where I learn a lot. Today I'll learn more than any of the players today. And I'll learn about their abilities, what they're good at, what they're bad at, what I need to work on with them on. And then from there I can get better at communication. For example, like last year with damage, so whenever I've started coaching a new team, it always takes me a while to figure out and learn the players on how they communicate with me about gameplay, after the game, in between games, how to adjust things, all of those. It takes a little while. And on damage, that took by almost a whole year before I really felt like I understood all of them. Because they all say it in a different way. Some of them it's faster with, some of them it takes longer with. And yeah, that's it. It just takes some time. Okay, well, so for team building, I think that takes a while. And a lot of people think it's just, you just start coaching people right away, and that's not the way it works best. The way it works best is once the players start to trust you and understand what you're trying to do, then coaching really starts working. But before then, a lot of times players are concerned about like getting enough playing time, and they're concerned about, you know, all kinds of other things rather than just working on what I want them to work on. And it just takes time, and it'll take longer than normal for me on this team, just because of different language barriers and things like that. Yeah, I think so. I think there'll be things that I will kind of individually talk to people about what they could be doing better. And then there's also Oliver and Ryan will help me a lot in that too, especially for smaller like technical ability kind of things. But as a whole, I mean, I'll give direction and things that they might need to work on, and a lot of times they already know what those are. Like, they just need a reminder about them. I think there'll be a combination of both. I think that'll work the best, is using both Russian and English together. I mean, I've seen it work before with the Houston Heat as a good example of Russian players and American players, and it worked fine. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, there's probably a learning curve to it, but I don't think it will be that bad.